Hello. Are you guys there? I just think it's kind of hilarious how I'm doing this tea thing all the time, and I know I'm probably alone with thinking that that's hilarious, but that's just me for you, yeah? That's just my kind of humor right there. I should probably change the title of this video series from sim.bc day X, Y, and Z because we're triple digits to like tea time with sim or something like that instead and have it like its own little segment. Changing things up today. Not just by not telling you what time it is in the beginning, but also because I'm changing to green tea from black tea. And to be honest, right, it kind of looks like we. Yeah. I'm probably not the first one to coin that phrase, but in that context, who knows? Right now, it's actually 1:15. I was so close at getting this out to 1:10. Actually, you know, I can say whatever I bloody want because it's my video. Yeah, so it's 1:10 right now. I know, immersion broken on all so many different levels. And I would like to start with weirding you out a bit, yeah? If that's okay. And yes, I am stalling. Thank you for noticing. It's not easy a lot of the time. We tell you a bit of a story that I recently encountered, which I thought was kind of hilarious, right? And simultaneously really gross. So if you're easily grossed out about food and the human body, then just skip ahead, you know, about 2-3 minutes. Okay. So I got a very heavy sunburn this weekend, and over the course of the week, my body has tried to, what should we say, replenish itself, right? Replenish itself as much and as best as it can, which basically means, right, it's trying to get off all of the burnt and now dead skin and replenish it with new skin. So I was kind of Googling this because I thought, wow, that looks a bit weird. Half of my face is falling off every morning. Just the natural cause of things and just the natural way of things, obviously, but I thought it still looked kind of weird, so I was Googling it around, right? Which is the best thing that you can do ever. When you have some sort of symptom or some form of thing that you don't really realize if this is a medical condition or not, and if it's serious enough, the best thing you can do is self-diagnose yourself and Google it. Because that just means that you're probably going to end up having cancer everywhere. Bloody everywhere. Doesn't matter if I'm, you know, having skin cells falling off my head. I probably have cancer in my foot if I'm Googling it. Anyway, what I got into though was not a medical diagnosis page. Instead, I got into a bit of a comedic forum, and I thought, well, you know, have a laugh. A laugh a day keeps the doctor away, so you might as well try, am I right? And I got in there, and I was seeing a joke similar to my own, what you would say, situation, which I thought was hilarious. Could be in a situational factor, I totally agree. So, the joke ran along these lines. It was something along the lines of, a guy was heavily sunburnt. There was huge, you know, pretense to this, but I'm just gonna skip that because that's the important part, that he was heavily sunburned after a vacation. Now, he went into a restaurant and he ordered his favorite spaghetti with, you know, spaghetti bolognese or whatever. And he asked for some Parmesan to have with it. And I know that I'm not the best at telling jokes, but here comes the punchline though. Whilst he was grinding up the Parmesan into the bolognese, so to say, he was kind of scratching his head at the same time because he didn't really get if it was enough Parmesan. And whilst he was scratching, well, there it magically appeared. More Parmesan for you. Yeah, so I'm gonna leave that up to the imagination if you thought I was hilarious or not. I laughed for a good, it's awful to say, and I'm a bit embarrassed to say, but about 5 minutes just straight. And I know that's crazy, especially on your own when you have no one else there to gratify with your laughter. But yeah, that's kind of what I do on my free time. Just like the black tea, still too hot. I'm beginning to think that it might be the water, actually. I know, how hilarious am I? And you might be wondering, well, Sim, why are you stalling? And I'm gonna tell you why I'm stalling. I'm gonna stall because the topic that I'm gonna talk about today, the one thing I wrote down in my notes on my phone right yesterday, was something along the lines of, it would be amazing if I just could find, if I just could find it, right? So, I was thinking about this, the quiet one is the weird one thing. In movies and reports of crazy outlaws of society, it's often, oh, no one expected him/her because they always sat silent in the corner. Yeah, that's the topic for today, by the way. And I wrote down 3 different things. One, good for them to be included, you know, diversity. Good for them to finally be included. The people in the corner, come join us, even though we're seeing you as the social outcast who is, you know, a bit weird and might go crazy, but still, come join us in society. The second one is, now they not only need to worry about being alone, but being the crazy one too. I know. It's kind of a double thing, don't you know? Don't you think? And 3, what about the people who are completely normal but like to be on their own? I have several friends who are like that, and what I know, they're not just serial killers either. But that might be why no one is considering them, because no one would ever consider someone sitting quiet in the corner. Anyway, so that may be shooting itself down. But what I'm trying to get at here, or rather, I'm gonna say this in a better way. What I imagined that I was trying to get to yesterday was that I am quite the social phenomenon, especially when it comes to work. You know, during paid hours, you're the best yourself that you can be. That's my mindset. That's kind of my motto. So that means, since I'm working at a workplace where I am able to be social simultaneously as I'm upholding my work, and maybe even increasing the amount of work produced, because being social, everybody having a bit of a fun time out there, I'm allowed to be social, and I am quite social. Yes, because I believe it benefits both me, the people around me, and the corporation, which is key in this little criteria. Anyway, something that I found quite interesting though is that not everybody wants to be engaged in this social phenomenon. I've seen plenty of people in this circumstance, though. It's not like hundreds upon hundreds. It's more like 3. Yeah. Context. Plenty of people just walking away from an entirely pleasant conversation with yours truly. Now, obviously, could be because they think that I'm a bit of a twat or that I'm a bit irritating, because I tend to take jokes to the next level until someone is offended and then be like, didn't mean that though. But up until that point, I'm generally like, kicking it up a level, you know, kicking it up a level and another level and another level and another. And sometimes people are like, you know what, that's hilarious. I'm not the only one taking it to a dark place. And I'm like, it's a bit weird that it's more than one in the room that's doing that. Anyway, in order to connect this with, you know, the people sitting alone and being all antisocial, it might be because, as I said, they just might truly enjoy being by themselves, and it might not necessarily be your fault, even though it absolutely could be. So don't rule it out too quickly. Yeah, I mean, just take a look at yourself in the mirror. You could be the annoying prick in the corner, or rather in the center of attention that you probably despise so much, because I know I do at times. But I thought it was kind of interesting to see that there are some people in the, what should we say, the social structure, in the work area, and the working culture, when, you know, going through the different group stages of norming, forming, you know, storming, adjourning, all of those, that actually like to just be on their own and think that that is completely rational and completely satisfied experience, and a completely satisfiable experience to be had all on of its own. And I kind of get it, because when I grew up, I was kind of a loner. Yeah, I'm saying that in a weird way. I wasn't a loner. I had plenty of friends, right? But I kind of enjoyed being on my own a lot. Not that I was necessarily just running away from people for the sake of running away from them, but sometimes I found it quite not so enjoyable being with people as being just alone by myself with a good book or something like that, or, you know, rather my generation, with a good video game. I kind of enjoyed that experience. So I can understand that some people like to be on their own even at work. However, what I do not really see, and what I personally have a problem with, you know, kind of tapping into that kind of perspective and that kind of mindset, is that it's all fun and games, you know, to go around and be by yourself when you have something to do. In my opinion, right, from my world, where I'm standing from, when you have something to focus on. However, when you walk away from a social interaction with a large group just to sit in a corner and not do anything, I personally, like, don't get that, right? Could be because I'm, you know, living on my own. If I lived with someone, maybe I would like to go to the work and be like, hoo, finally some alone time. I can finally have some peace and bloody quiet. And then a large group comes in, try to join you in, try to cheer you on. And you're just like, I really don't want to. Obviously, that could be the case. Hopefully not, because you're probably in a good relationship. But if you're not, maybe. Who am I to judge? What am I to know? Anyway, but as I thought, I just took a hard look at myself today, because I ran into a bit of I'm not going to call it an issue, right? I'm not going to call it an issue because, well, even though it maybe is, depends on the social rules that you're applying to the situation. But I'm trying to sort of make everybody join the group, so to say, really creating this group spirit and this group mentality, because I truly believe, especially at the workplace that I'm working, that the team-based organization is much better than several individuals, because the individual input of all the different characters and all the different team members are going to produce a cumulative larger output than each individual's input and output by themselves. I know, hilarious stuff, am I right? So I'm trying to create this kind of team mentality, and I absolutely bloody hate. It's one thing when you're invited to a group and you choose by your own to leave and sit by yourself. Completely acceptable, even though I at sometimes cannot understand why you do that. But what is a worse thing, what is a really bad thing, is when you do not get invited at all. And you have to sit on your own, no matter if you would like to choose that anyway, right? It could be that I'm saying to you, hey, do you want to join over here, yeah? And they're like, no, I would like to sit on my own. But if I don't ask you, and you would have given me that answer anyway, you're probably going to be a bit unsatisfied now, wouldn't you? Or at least I am. I know, it's kind of weird. It's a bit of a paradox. Please ask me so that I can have the power to say no. It's really weird, and probably some form of pointer to, a brain damage somewhere. I mean, it doesn't really sound that sound, and that, it sounds borderline mental if you ask me. Please ask me so that I can say no. And if you don't ask me and I'm going to do the thing I was going to do anyway, I'm going to be quite pissed. Yeah, it just don't make any sense whatsoever. However, so I'm trying to kind of make everybody enjoy the experience, try to join them all in, try to take them all into this team I'm trying to construct, right? Around there is this team feeling of being like, oh, we're a team. All the people who joined with me, all the people who are the new ones, right? Want to sit by a table and talk about the day. But then there's one guy, maybe two, but it's one guy who's doing this particularly well. Ain't gonna give out any names, or any form of descriptions or whatever, but Mordnik walks away and sits by his own. So any of you who might watch this, who know me and have worked with me, you probably know who it is already. Anyway, this guy then is just... Oh, I said guy. Anyway, let's roll with that. It's the general guy, right? So this guy is walking away, sitting by his own. And I'm asking him all the time, because I want to be nice, be to others as you want them to be to you. So I'm like, you know what, I'm going to invite you. I know you're going to say no, but I'm going to invite you anyway to sit with us. Yeah, 2 thumbs fresh. Went up to him, and he was really pissed about the entire thing. I was like, hi, do you want to join, sit with us, yeah? And he was like, no, I don't want to sit with you. And I'm like, sorry, mate. Read all the directions wrong. Not that he necessarily was angry, he was just a bit irritated with me asking every single day around lunch, let's say, just to pick a time here, but it's consistently every day. I'm like, hi, do you want to join us? Because I wanted, if I sat on my own, it's easier to, let's just say, right, you sit on your own because you chose to sit on your own, but then after a while you recognize, hi, I actually want to sit with you guys for a day. Maybe spice things up, change things up for a while, try something new. But it's very hard to do that if you as the sole outside person is going to move into the group. It's much easier if the group is presenting you with an invitation saying, hi, do you want to come sit with us? We're going to ask you every single day, even though you say no like 364 days a year. I truly, myself, right, believe that that's a better system. And I think that's easier to kind of invite people instead of making them feel like they have to be, barging in on the group. And that simultaneously makes them like semi-part of the team because, well, we're always inviting you, so we're recognizing that you're a part of this team as well. No matter if you choose to sit with us or not. No matter if you want to talk with us or not. No matter if you straight walk past me on the bus station when I'm trying to wave at you and say hi. And he's just like he's recognizing it, but he doesn't respond in the same social interaction that I do. Now, I might be someone who overthinks things a lot. I get that, I understand that, I can take that to heart. It might be a huge criticism towards my personality. I might be someone who is looking in way too deep and analyzing things way too much. But I would just like to say that, wow, I really hope that I would come to some form of conclusion. Now, let's do this. Let's come to two different ones. First of all, I would like to say it's better as a group to invite people who might not necessarily want to be part of your group, to give them the option to once upon a day and once upon a time when they want to join the group more easily. You might not have to do it as me though every single day, because that unfortunately have been seen as quite rude and intrusive, and actually, you know, it feels like it's counteracting the purpose and making them feel more outside than ever, you know, constantly pointing it out, unfortunately, which is, I can see that. The second is, if you yourself is someone who like to be on your own, don't be afraid to walk away from a group. I know I didn't quite talk about that, but that's an important lesson as well. Don't be afraid to walk out of a group and have some alone time with yourself. Now that sounded dirtier than it should be. Be on your own, so to say, because some people quite enjoy that. Some people actually regain some energy, you know, introvert versus extrovert, or contra-extrovert, however you want to say it. There is huge differences there in how you actually regain your energy and how you stay focused and how you're happy in your workplace and in your social life. And you actually might find that you're different in the different places. At least I am. I think, maybe. It's hard to diagnose yourself now, isn't it? Funny I ain't a doctor, right? Because that would be hilarious. Even though that's one of my goals in life, but not a medical one, a economics-based doctor. I know, the best kind. Anyway, mates, anyway, let me just quit this before I go into weirder discussions than that one weird person in the crowd. I said weird. Wow, that's so bad. I know I started talking about serial killers and outlaws. I thought that was going to be the theme of today's video, but I just branched out and talked about my own problems, right? I know, must be a first, right? Yeah, so that might be a topic for another time if I want to deep dive into that, which is kind of weird and really not relatable to anyone. Or hopefully, because most of you out there are probably not outlaws and serial killers. Yeah, do some fresh for you, mate, if you're not. And if you are, please call the police and turn yourself in, yeah? Do society a favor. Have a nice one, mates. See ya. Bye. Where did this go?